Hey there. In today's video, we're going to take your About Us or About Me page on your website from snooze to spark. If you think that potential clients are just skimming, you're wrong. They're actually deciding to trust you when they read your About Us page, or they're deciding to validate the idea that they think that they can trust you. So they're not just skimming. The About Us or About Me page on your website is really important. It's not just a dry list of credentials. This is your chance to build trust, connect with visitors on a really personal level, and explain the why behind your practice. So if you're a mediator or any other professional, this is particularly important. Clients want to know not just what you do, but also who you are, why you do it, and how you approach your conflict resolution process. So today we're going to go through it step by step, create a little guide for you about the About Us page so that it genuinely speaks to your audience and really highlights your unique values, philosophy, and the story behind your practice. All right, welcome to Marketing Monday. You know the rules. First we sip, then we strategize. All right, got ourselves a little vanilla latte going today. Don't know why the camera's not clear. There we go. All right, so uh, defining the purpose of your About page. Some mediators I see, arbitrators too, of course. Good morning, Shazia. Some really treat their About Us page like a simple bio. It's just a list of qualifications and contact info. That is a resume, which is fine, but that's a resume. Your bio is something entirely different. Your bio is the narrative. And a truly effective About Us page sets the tone. It shows that you're not just a business or a team, but you're a person or a team with a heart, with a mission, with empathy, etc. Right? Think of all of those great adjectives about your practice. But it also builds credibility. Like I said, it demonstrates your experience, your training, your thought processes, the way in which you communicate, the kind of language that you use. It invites connection. It encourages visitors to see the human side of your practice and feel more comfortable reaching out to you. A pro tip, I think always have on your mind, how does my story help my potential clients see that I really understand them and their struggles? So in your bio page or your About Us page, of course, you want to introduce yourself. You want to show the face behind the practice, and a photo, a current, accurate photo is really important. If you're the main mediator, maybe, or you're a member of a small team of mediators, include short introductions for each of those relevant people. And you want to, for yourself or your team members, highlight your name, of course, the role you play in the practice. Something as easy as, hi, I'm Alex Rodriguez, a family mediator specializing in co-parenting solutions, right? You could always have a personal note. This is where you might want to put in a hobby or a pet or something that offers a little glimpse, not too personal, but a little glimpse into your personal life. You don't want to give personal information. We're neutrals. But you could say something like, when I'm not mediating, I love hiking with my golden retriever, something along those lines. And why does this matter? Because people connect with real humans, not just faceless experts. So a really friendly tone in this section of your website, or maybe if you're on your LinkedIn profile, can break down any sort of initial skepticism or anxiety, right? So the next thing you want to do is be sure that you articulate your values and philosophy. You want to make it authentic. Don't just say, I value honesty and empathy. Everybody says that. Instead, dig a little bit deeper. Why do you value empathy? How does it manifest in your day-to-day practice? You could say something like, I believe every conflict has a path to peaceful resolution, no matter how stuck it may feel. Something along those lines. You might also say something like, I see mediation as a tool for long-term harmony, not just a quick fix, right? So it's really proving with your language how you feel about the process. A little pro tip for this portion is that if you work with a really specific demographic or psychographic, like divorced parents or small business partners, workplace disputes, etc., tie your philosophy directly to their needs, right? The other thing you want to have on your About Us page is sharing your origin story. This is the why behind your practice. Was there a turning point in your life that led you to become a mediator? Tell the story. A particular case, maybe, where you realized that mediation was what you wanted to do with the rest of your career. You want to share that spark. Whatever sparked you to the resolution industry, share that on your About Us page so that people get to know you and understand a little bit about you. You could say something, like my journey into mediation began when I witnessed how a simple conversation facilitated by a neutral party saved a family business from collapse. That moment showed me the power of listening with empathy. Just that. Really simple, the story of why. But why does that matter? Well, because stories are relatable. When you give a personal anecdote, readers, they can visualize when you are passionate about resolution, and they trust that that passion will fuel your work with them. That's why it's so important. And the next thing that should be on your list is highlighting your process. Now, if you have a really sophisticated clientele, you still want to give a really brief description of the kind of mediation or the kind of arbitration that you do. And there are lots of different kinds, so spell it out. And if you've got a preference for opening statements, no opening statements, let people know. So, let them know you're the steward of the process, but ultimately it's their day, that kind of thing. So talk about how you work, and you can go step by step. So your main website or even one of your social media profiles, welcome to the coffee club, Shazia. Well, your main website pages are maybe dedicated to a services tab or how it works page. You could lightly summarize your approach on this About Us section. You could also say something like, we start with a friendly 15-minute call to see if mediation is right for you if you've got unrepresented clients. You could also have something about how your sessions are structured. So you could write that sessions typically last 2 hours, focusing on clear communication and exploring mutually beneficial solutions. You could talk about outcomes and follow-ups, and let people know we document agreements thoroughly to ensure that everybody leaves with clarity. Those kinds of sentences are really important to have in your About Us section because it lets people know what to expect, that you're a professional, and again, builds connectivity and trust. But whatever you're going to put there on that page, again, clarity and brevity are your friends, so keep it concise. You can link to a much more detailed process page if you have one. More coffee. But the goal here is to give an overview so that potential clients aren't left just guessing. The next thing we want to be sure that we have on our About Us page is sort of a behind the scenes glimpse. So you could, if you've got an office, showcase your office or the environment in which you work. If you work only on Zoom and you're working from a home office and you don't have an office where you receive clients or parties, then have a professional photograph. You don't have to hire a professional, but have a really nice photograph of you maybe in a law library or in a conference room, that kind of thing, so that you can showcase your level of professionalism. We don't want our clients, if they're unrepresented, wondering, where does the mediation take place? Is it formal? Is it intimidating? Is it cozy? Is it welcoming? So have a quick photo of the environment in which you work. If you work online, that's a little bit trickier, but you can, using Canva and their various templates, show people what it's going to look like so that we can relieve that anxiety if they have any. If you've got an office, maybe give people an office tour. I mean, a single snapshot is great with a little short paragraph describing the setting, comfortable chairs, neutral decor, really a private environment, all of those aspects reduce anxieties. But if you're doing online mediation, digital mediation, if you conduct your sessions online, highlight that you use secure, user-friendly platforms, and then outline how you keep that process running smoothly. And this is important because clients want to be able to envision what the experience will be like. So a real behind-the-scenes peek eases those nerves, and it builds trust. And hi, Osman from Turkey. Nice. Glad to have you here. Turkey's a beautiful country. So anyway, a little behind the scenes is always a good idea. The next thing that we want to showcase on our About Us page, we want to be able to cite any relevant qualifications, certifications, and experiences that we have. If you have unrepresented clients, you do definitely not want to overload them with any sort of technical or legal jargon. If you're dealing with litigators, knock yourself out. You can have all of the alphabet soup and all the certificates and that kind of language, absolutely. Unrepresented is a little bit different. But if you've got certifications, if you've completed training programs, you've got degrees, awesome. Mention it briefly, but show your credibility through all of that education. You could list your key credentials: certified family mediator, trained in interest-based negotiation. You could also say something over 200 mediations handled, ranging from small neighbor disputes to complex family estate matters, that kind of thing. But if your target audience, again, is unrepresented and they might not be well versed in the legal terms, keep things really approachable. If you're targeting corporate clients or attorneys, formal language is the appropriate way to go. If you have any client testimonials, this is a perfect spot to start listing those client testimonials. You don't want to put people into a doom scroll. So if you've got a ton, maybe a carousel would be better, but this is the perfect page for testimonials. Let your clients vouch for you, because what you say about yourself in a marketing piece is great. What other people have said about your services is fabulous. So a short testimonial or 2 or 20 really reinforces your claims. Again, keep it brief, highlight specifics, right? Third-party praise really boosts your credibility. So make sure you have permission to share the testimonial. You might want to anonymize a testimonial to protect confidentiality. And for testimonials, if you don't have sort of even numbers from defense and plaintiff, anonymize it so that you don't look plaintiff favored or defense favored. All right. Next, we always, of course, on every page, we want to have a call to action. We want to invite connection. So your About page should conclude with a little gentle prompt. You don't want to be too salesy about it, but you could say something that motivates people to connect with you. And you could say something like, or type rather, something like, ready to discuss your situation, click here to schedule a free 15-minute consultation. Or have questions, shoot me an email. No question is too small. That kind of a thing. But you always want to keep the tone friendly, matching the rest of your About Me or About Us page sort of vibe and personality. And even if you have a separate contact tab or contact page on your website, provide a direct link on the About page to reduce clicks and confusion. And then, of course, like everything else in our practice, we have to be a bit self-aware and keep things current. We want to keep it fresh always. So, update your About Me or About Us page from time to time. If you get a new certificate or take a new training, update it. If you've advanced in something, update it. If you've got new testimonial, update it. But as your practice evolves, so does your story. So from time to time, you might want to revisit your About Us page every few months, at least once a year, minimally once a year. Again, put in any new achievements or trainings. You might need to remove any outdated information. You might have listed that you were a member of a particular group and you no longer are. Remove that. Refresh any images. Maybe your office decor has changed, or your team has expanded, or you've allowed your racing stripes to come in, right? But this is really important because a stale About page can give visitors the impression that you're not actively engaged in your own practice. And that's not the kind of communication that we want to have out there. If you've got a team, right? A team photo is great to add on this page. If you've got staff or colleagues, feature them. People like seeing the friendly faces behind the scenes, right? The wizard behind the curtain. Maybe you've got the ability to shoot a video, and I know you do because you're watching this video. So consider just a little 1-minute clip introducing yourself or giving a mini tour of how you approach mediation. You could have an FAQ where you find yourself sort of answering the same personal or values-based questions. Incorporate those briefly in your About page, or link to a separate FAQ, or link to videos if you've got a YouTube channel, right? So much good stuff can go on this page. So your page, About Us, About Me, it's a lot more than a resume. This is not the dry bullet point resume or CV. This is your story. This is your narrative. This is the virtual handshake where you welcome potential clients into your world. You want to be able to weave in any values that you want people to know about. You want to let them have a behind the scenes glimpse at what you do and how you work and how you can help them. You want to incorporate any personal story, not too personal, but any personal story that you want to share with people about why you are a neutral, and transform that into a really powerful storytelling tool that sets you apart from other mediators because your story is unique to you. All right, so final thoughts. Be warm, be genuine. Use a conversational tone that makes the viewer, the reader, feel at ease. Highlight your why. Explain what drives you. People respond to passion and authenticity. Show, don't just tell. Use short anecdotes, client testimonials, photos, or videos. Always, of course, invite interaction. You want that call to action. You want to encourage viewers, visitors to reach out, learn more, connect with you. Keep it current. And I know that for some of us that's a challenge, but keep it current. So update it periodically as your experience grows or your practice focus shifts. But your About You page, your About Me, About Us page, it can really be a game changer in winning trust and sparking meaningful connections with the people who need your mediation skills the most. So rock on. Let your story shine. All right. Well, I'm going to finish my coffee. I'm so glad that you stayed with me to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. That's it for me, Marketing Monday. Be good humans. Bye-bye.